You are Locked On Astros Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Houston on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, it's just another night of watching Astros baseball as they go up to New York and get absolutely crushed in the first of three, and as the team falls to 11 games under 500. Absolute insanity that this baseball team has done that, and that is where they are at. Embarrassing? Maybe. Frustrating? Sure. All of the emotions mixed into one. You can have whatever it is in your mind. This team is a disaster. We have a lot of things to get to, as you can see on the screen there. The overall truth is we're going to get to the cold, hard truth of this baseball team. Every day that continues to pass, they are giving you more and more evidence of who they are. Are you going to start believing them when they show you who they are, like they have done once again tonight against the New York Yankees? Tonight's episode, it is brought to you, by the way, here on the Locked On Sports Houston page. If you're new to the YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button. We greatly appreciate that. It's brought to you by Monopoly Go. Game off. We got to talk about Monopoly Go. This fast-paced game lets you team up with friends for tournaments to unlock awesome prizes like unique stickers for trading, cool playing pieces, and hilarious emojis for taunting your friends. So download Monopoly Go, now free on Google Play or the App Store. Game on. I was hopeful, like a lot of you, that the Astros would go up to New York tonight with Justin Verlander on the hill and find a way to get a series off to a winning start. Shake off the bad end to the weekend against Seattle. There was a brief period of time where this baseball team recently had a decent stretch of play. They swept the Rockies. They took 2 out of 3 against Cleveland, took the first against Seattle. Things were looking up. Lose the second one to Seattle, okay. Logan Gilbert shoves, whatever. Forget about it, you move on. Come back Sunday, find a way to get a win in that one, and all is right with the world. And it was right there for the taking. And these are all the small little things about this baseball team. All the small little moments in a season define who you are, define how you're viewed, define everything. And a good team over the weekend in that situation on Sunday, where they come back and they take a lead on 2, big home runs like they did late, they win that baseball game. Bad teams lose it. Bad teams go on the road like they did tonight with their ace on the mound. He didn't pitch like it. And win a game tonight. I would love to sit here and muster up a bunch of anger for what Verlander did tonight to put the Astros in such a terrible... I can't. They can't hit. It doesn't matter. The starting pitcher can go out there and give up 100 runs. This team's going to score 1, 2. They cannot score. They just can't. Oh, but their numbers this, their numbers that, they all look great. They're top this half and this in the league and top of this in the league or top of the pack. Don't care. They don't score runs. They're trash. It's just the truth. They'll bust out and have a couple of games against somebody like they did against Cleveland, score a bunch of runs, and everything's great, guys. Everything looks like it's going back to normal. No. It's just not. It's the same thing over and over every single night. And until you start, actually seeing it and acknowledging it. Sorry, my dog is over here biting at something, and I'm trying to get him to stop. But as soon as you see it and acknowledge it, I just think that's where we're at. I can't even come onto this show anymore and muster up the anger that I want to muster up when these kind of things happen. I can't. And think about just how this season, you're playing the Yankees tonight, who now, by the way, are 5-0 against the Astros this year. I mean, look, the Astros dominated them for years. So maybe the baseball gods just think that we owe them one, whatever. But this season started so just you go back and think about it. The way that series played out, it really was a piece of evidence of what was to come. They got swept out in 4 games by the Yankees at home to start the year. Had multiple chances. You go back and look at it, they probably could have won 3 of those 4 baseball games and didn't. One thing here, one thing there, whatever it was. That's what they do. And this is what bad teams do. Bad teams do bad things. And every night, the Astros do bad things. And guess what they are? They are a bad baseball team. I don't care one bit about injuries this, injuries that, underperform. I don't care. I judge you based off of what I see. And what I continue to see is a baseball team that's flawed, that was built poorly from the standpoint of didn't do anything to adjust. And it all points back to the hubris of the owner. It's the truth. He got, and look, it's his investment, it's his team, whatever. He got irritated, embarrassed, whatever, when all the sign stealing stuff happened and he took control back of this organization, whatever it was. But he never took control back. Because if he had taken control back, he wouldn't have let his previous manager run out the GM who was qualified and was actually good at his job in James Click. And then they wouldn't be in a position where they're now maybe with a manager that, honestly, Joe Espada probably in over his head. That's where I'm getting with him. And I hate that because he is I've said it before, super nice guy. Great guy to talk to. I've always believed he was going to be a good manager. I always have. Maybe he's not. Maybe he doesn't have a clue. I will give him this. He has no clue what he's doing with Alex Bregman every day. He's put him in the 4-hole like he did again tonight. Why? I don't know. Some of the things Joe Espada, I can't. It's the same thing as when Dusty Baker was here. There's a lot of things that I can go and get mad about and upset about, whatever it is. Joe Espada can't control a lot of the things. He can't control the hitters not hitting the baseball. And sorry, before I start coughing, I got to take a sip of this water. There's a lot of things that are outside of his control. But one of the things that's inside of his control, I think, is the appearance of the team, like somebody going there and shaking them. Never seen that. Yeah, they talked really positively as a collective group when they went to Mexico City. As we refresh here, we restart here, and you could keep saying these things. You keep saying like, "Oh, we know that we're better than this. We know that we're going to get through this. We know this. We know that." Guys, tomorrow's May the 8th. Before you know it, we'll be sitting at May 15th, and you'll probably still be 8, 9, 10 games under 500. Okay? Then before you know it, it's Labor Day or Memorial Day, and you're still in the same area. You're running out of time. Even in a season, that's the funniest part, is that in a season that's 162 games, they are running out of time. They're running out of time. Now, sure, the standings don't necessarily say they're running out of time because nobody wants to run away with anything, and the division stinks, whatever. And there's 3 wild card teams now, so it's always easy. The Astros, well, they've fallen back to 8.5 or 8 games back now. I mean, we are in a world right now where they are the last place team in the American League West still. They're behind the Angels, and the Oakland Athletics are only 3 games under 500. And the Oakland Athletics on May the 7th are 4 games out of being the American League West leaders. How? They're playing baseball as a collective unit. They're overcoming. And that's, I think, the most frustrating thing about all this is that it feels like there's a lot of excuse card going on when in years past that was never the case. You played through it. You found your way to wins. Didn't matter. This team's not capable of it. There's a massive crack in the foundation. The golden era that we never wanted to end could be over. Probably is over. You could restart it eventually in a different fashion, sure. But thinking that it's still going to be the same Houston Astros golden era of baseball that they've given us for the last since 2017. It's not. I wish it was, but it's just not. They have problems. They have flaws. And one of their flaws right now is living in fantasy land that something is going to change. We'll talk about it. Why, if any reason, anybody would believe the fact that they could turn this thing around and fix it is beyond me. And we'll get to that in just a brief second. But right now, I need to tell you about one of my favorite things, and that is PrizePicks. If you played PrizePicks yet, I'll tell you this, I love playing less on Astro stats. Just a lot of fun there. You easily make money on those every single night because they don't do anything. So play those. It is a game of more or less. If you've not played PrizePicks yet, first of all, go download it on your phone. It is awesome. You can play the NBA playoffs. I'm a big fan of the NBA action. I feel like for me, I do really well in the NBA action, so I play a lot of the NBA action. But you got NBA, you got baseball, you got it all. You got soccer, whatever it is that you're looking for with PrizePicks, they have it available for you to play more or less every single night there on PrizePicks. Of course, like I said, they have something for everybody, from basketball to that baseball to League of Legends and everything in between. You could pick LeBron, which he's done now, but one of the guys left. You could pick Jokic, could be done soon. Shohei Ohtani, Connor McDavid, Jude Bellingham, all in the same entry. PrizePicks is the best way to get on the action in more than across 30 states in the country, including, of course, our great state of Texas, California, and Georgia. Again, download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's Locked On MLB when you download the PrizePicks apps for a first deposit match. And before we get back to our Astros losing discussion, let me tell you, it's game off right now. We got to pause because we need to tell you about Monopoly Go. I know what you're saying, flag on the play. You already talked about that, but there is just so much more good stuff in this game. In Monopoly Go, you can team up with friends for your time tournaments where you work together to build up each other's boards. The more you win together, the more awesome prizes you unlock, and there's so much to get, whether it's unique stickers that you can trade with friends to complete albums for big prizes, cool new playing pieces to travel the boards with, hilarious emojis for taunting friends when you smash their buildings or heist their vaults. Plus, Monopoly Go feels new and exciting every day with constantly changing tournaments and challenges. A ton include their own unique mini games like digging for treasure or a robot pachinko machine, and there's always new timed events that help you win big, like massive multipliers for everything you win or on rent frenzies. There's always something fun to discover with Monopoly Go. So get off the bench and go download it now free on the Google Play or App Store. Game on. Locked On Astros Postcast tonight. Thank you for joining us after the Astros get absolutely embarrassed tonight in New York. Justin Verlander gives it the most runs he has ever given up as an Astro, 7 of them, as they fall 10-3. I am Michael Connor, by the way, your host. If you're new to the show tonight on YouTube, thanks for being here. We do this after every game. We're going to do this for every single Houston team, not just the Astros. One of these days, we're going to do shows for the Texans. We'll do shows for the Rockets. We'll do shows for Cougars football. Maybe even mix in some Cougars basketball when they're back because they're great. Those teams all have a chance to give us exciting things. Right now, the Astros don't give us anything. But if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, as I mentioned. If you're listening to this on podcast, go find it. Locked On Sports Houston is where you can find the YouTube page. And you can find this show anywhere that you get your podcast. Search Locked On Astros. You'll get this show here. You'll also get the Locked On Astros show. Double your content for Astros stuff every single day. Look, you probably have an hour drive to work tomorrow. Listen to this show. If you don't listen to all of it, whatever it might be, and then listen to the Locked On Astros show with Brett and Eric every single day. They do a great job as well, so check that out with the Locked On Astros guys. But Stros get crushed tonight, and I want to talk about being in Fantasyland. And I will say there's a lot less of it now on social media. And look, my social media existence is a lot different for me personally than it used to be. I'm on there during games, and I'm going to be honest with you, when it's not games, it's very rare that I spend any time on it anymore. Then maybe that's probably not a good thing. Maybe I should be promoting the show more that we do every single night here on YouTube. But I don't know. I just don't want to spend as much time on it, and I typically don't look. Like yesterday when they didn't play, I didn't open Twitter one time. There's no point. I've got nothing else to do, or X, excuse me, which you can follow me at Connor Michael. I had to mow the yard yesterday. That's what I did. I would rather mow the yard tonight. We hit the stage of the game tonight, and it's sad because it's what's going to happen. It's like they're either going to typically they get knocked down early, fall into an early hole, and then it's over, or they fall behind, climb back, and it's just, how are they going to lose this tonight? Tonight, at least they got out of the way. You could sit on your phone and fart around, and like I tweeted out earlier, I sitting there watching Instagram reels as the game is going, because why pain myself with paying 100% attention to the Astros going out there and getting absolutely smoked? Just as simple as that. That's what they do. And you know what I hate about all this too is that I do think in this given season, this isn't going to shoot the fan base away. And I don't think that us as fans, it's being a bad fan if you walk away and you say, I'm done. I'm not going back next year. Okay, be mad this season. I would still go because first of all, I love baseball. I find baseball being something enjoyable to be at. The environment of it, the games, it doesn't matter what I used to go when they were terrible. So you'll still see, like, I'm a baseball diehard. I'd be at the games. But I can get that if this spiral continues, they're going to field at the box office this summer. You're going to see it on TV every single night. Like, think about games that play on Monday night at Minute Maid Park. If this team is 13 games under 500 in the middle of June, and they're playing, I don't know, I have the schedule somewhere here with the Astros. Like, let's just go ahead and play the hypothetical game as we look ahead to what is coming for the Astros if they were to be in this scenario, of course, where you go out there and you keep playing this kind of baseball. Let's just go to, they don't have a Monday home game in the month of June. Let's just say in July 29th, a Monday night against the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is post All-Star break. This is right before the deadline. Could be your last chance to see some guys. But could you imagine if this team keeps playing this way? Why on earth would that game have more than like 8,000 people at it? Probably won't. Other than people that got tickets from somebody or, families in the middle of the summer, whatever it might be. But, like, why would you go to that game on a Monday night? Monday night crowds are already, and I'm using Monday night specifically because Monday nights are the worst crowds in baseball. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know why they even play on Mondays. They should just do the minor league schedule and only play or take every single Monday off. That's actually what they should do, but they refuse to do that because why use our brains? That's baseball for you. But I do think it's sad that there is going to be an apathy that's going to build into this season, and they're going to be dead to some people. And I get it. Like, they won't be dead to me. I'll still be watching. We'll still be doing these shows. I hope that you continue to join us every single night on YouTube. And again, if you're new here, thank you for watching tonight. Please hit the subscribe button. But you will not want to sit back and watch a game like that. I mean, let's go to the month of June where I just was, and like a series against the Chicago White Sox. It's a road series, the 18th to the 20th. Two of them are day game, or two of them are night games, but there's a day game in there. But like, you're going to go out of your way to, I guess, if you're looking for wins, maybe they should. Well, I can't guarantee you anything with this baseball team. Think about this sad fact. The White Sox, if you've not seen them this year, they are about as abysmal as it gets to a baseball team. Like, horrendously bad. The Astros only have 4 more wins than them right now. 4. Just want to emphasize that. 4. So I don't know if there's anybody that's still out there. I can understand that people want to live in the. I'm a person that is genuinely a happy person. If you knew me away from this, I'm very, very happy. I'm not a negative person. I don't like to live in negative world, negative thought, negative, all that stuff. I have a happy disposition, and I try to always feel that way about this, but like, there's just no way to muster it up. I just think that they're giving you, we always talked about with the Astros being big believers in the numbers like they were, and numbers are evidence. Well, you don't need numbers here with this team for this. You have evidence that they play bad baseball every single night, and that's what bad teams do. And I just think that I've hit that point. Let's talk more about the truth. The truth of the matter. The Astros GM Dana Brown had some comments today on MLB Network. He's going to end up having his foot in his mouth, I guarantee, and we'll talk about that next. But first, let me tell you about Yahoo Finance. Look, you need to be diversifying everything, right? You got 401ks, you got investment accounts, you got it all out there. What better place to get it all in one place together where you can look at it together than Yahoo Finance? I know for me, I'm doing it. Very easy. Great to have. Can put everything in there. All of my accounts, all of our accounts now that I've been married for a little bit over a year, we have right there in the Yahoo Finance. You can take a look at it, see how your money's growing, because trust me, I'm realizing it too as we're getting into our 30s here. Growing your money is kind of a big deal. Like, you kind of need to do that because one of these days, I love talking to you guys, but like later on in life, I'm going to be older and I don't want to do this. I'm not going to want to do anything. I'm not going to want to watch the Astros unless, my grandkids want to go or something if I'm able to make it that long. So why not, grow my money, see my money. And I, again, use Yahoo Finance to do that. For more than 25 years, Yahoo Finance has been the brand behind every great investor. Whether you're a second investor or are looking for that extra guidance, Yahoo Finance gives you all the tools and the data you need in one place. They are the number one finance destination, producing a holistic look at the financial news cycle, including breaking news, original editorial perspectives, analyst ratings, independent research, customizable charts, and so much more. Securely link your brokerage accounts for a unified view of your wealth, including 401k and other investments. A comprehensive perspective is what sets apart great investors, and it's how Yahoo Finance ensures you have the insight to look at your wealth in its entirety. For a comprehensive financial news and analysis, visit the brand behind every great investor, yahoofinance.com, the number one financial destination, yahoofinance.com. That's yahoofinance.com. All right, the Locked On Astros Postcast. And sorry for those of you there if I was chugging into the microphone. I had to get myself some. Well, I'm dealing with a little bit of a dry spot in the throat, and I think that's because of the Astros being terrible and making me feel like I have to do that. Could they please play better baseball? I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. I can wish upon a shooting star, I guess. But here's the truth. So Dana Brown today, the Astros GM, which, by the way, again, if you're new to the YouTube channel, a lot of you watching tonight, thank you. Please hit the subscribe button. Share it with all your friends, your family, whatever. Tell them to go subscribe to Locked On Sports Houston. You can find this show on podcast anywhere that you get your podcast. Search for Locked On Astros. Dana Brown today made comments, which he makes a lot of comments. We went from GM James Click, who loved to say absolutely nothing at all, to Dana Brown, who wants to say everything, but a lot of what he says is word salad. But I do appreciate he's a nice guy. I've had a few interactions with him before I left radio in spring training and whatnot, and he was awesome. He had the comments, was asked by Brian Kinney on MLB Network about the Astros struggles and could he envision them being a seller. And he says, no, I cannot envision us being a seller. They have an owner that before the year, when they sign Josh Hader, say the thing, the window, we're not going to close the window. The window stays open. Well, the window only stays open if you get extreme and do extreme things and fix some of the issues, but they didn't do that. They pigeonholed themselves into some contracts in certain places, and then they made an exorbitant signing in a closer that they didn't necessarily need, and it turns out he hasn't been good, along with the other two high leverage arms that you had in that bullpen. They've all just been a disaster this season. They are reaching a point, and the further along that this continues, I completely expect Dana Brown to have his foot in his mouth with that comment, saying that you can't envision being sellers. This team is going to have to be a seller. There is absolutely no reason to hold on to a lot of players that you could go and possibly get something that might help your farm system. Whether it's the starter tonight, Justin Verlander, I've talked about him before. I don't want to sit there and live in a world where he pitches for somebody else anymore. I'd like to see him finish with the Astros, but I just don't think that you need him. And if you can get rid of him and get a prospect, why wouldn't you? I just think it makes too much sense. You could trade away I'd say that you could trade away Alex Bregman. You're not getting anything of value for him. He's a free agent after the year, and he's been terrible. Honestly, he's playing his way to and I tweeted this tonight, he's playing his way to a one-year prove-it deal. A lot like Cody Bellinger, another Scott Boras client, had to do with the Cubs before he got another deal, which wasn't the deal that he was still looking for because he and his agent overvalued him. That's where Bregman has played himself too. But you could trade him away. You could trade away Fromber. There are some pieces that could get this baseball team some prospects that would help. And I would personally trade right now because on this day today, they are 12-23, right? I'm looking at the players that I would move. Absolutely, not even with no hesitation. I would trade Verlander. I would trade Bregman. I would trade Fromber because you're going to lose him after next season if you could get the right package. If I have to hold on to him until the winter to move him and get a bigger deal if I'm the GM, sure, I'd wait. But I would trade him if the right package came up. He wouldn't be an absolute, but I would trade for the right package. I would trade. I would listen to Kyle Tucker offers if you're not going to keep him, which they need to keep him. If they do want to continue to contend, and relievers, anybody can have any reliever. Come overpay for my relievers, you can have them. So I mean, I just think that it's not punting on next year, and I don't expect them to, and I don't want them to, and they don't need to because they still do have enough of a core group of talent that's under club control for a period of time that can be a competitive baseball team. But it's very obvious. And we see this with so many teams so often. You hold on. And there's good reason for holding on here. They've won. And they've almost been to World Series or been in World Series and for years and years and years. Like, it's not like, you're watching an NBA team that keeps running it back, like running the same thing out there. Like Miami Heat just got knocked out recently. Like, they keep running the same thing out there expecting a different result. Like, the Astros are getting to where they need to be to where you do that. But like now, having a year like this, to me, triggers a hard reset on the window. Triggers a hard reset on how you build around the core that you have. And you got to eject a lot of the stuff that you have to do that. So I think that is where I am today. And I do believe that once we get to that stage in the month of July, which I think the trade deadline is actually like August 1st now, whatever, they're going to be that kind of team. But they have to start evaluating that stuff now. I mean, look, there's already been a big trade pulled off in baseball a couple days ago. Luis Ariz goes to the San Diego Padres from the Marlins. You're not going to pull off any trades now. You're not going to punt anything now. They would wait until the end. But I do think that there's a really good chance that that's the direction that we are heading in. Simple as that. This year, you're punting on. You're almost going to punt on this year. It is what it is at this point. They're just that awful, and they're not giving you any reason to believe it. I do still, again, I will keep saying this. I reserve the right to have a tiny bit of hope because, that's the Houstonian in me. And I do hope that there'd be a massive egg on my face later this season. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't see any reason to believe that it's going to happen. I think that we are watching a baseball team this season that is going to be a losing baseball team. It just is what it is. Thank you for joining us tonight live here on YouTube. Again, if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. We'll do this again tomorrow night when they face the Yankees. The question will be, how much will they lose by? Because Spencer Arrieta's pitching. Probably won't go very well. I don't want to down him all the way. Like, he pitched well his last time, but, who knows with him? He's a rookie pitching in New York. We've seen this story before. Could go south very quickly. So When the game ends tomorrow night, we'll do this again. Then we'll do it again, and we'll do it again for every game, like we do here on the Locked On Sports Houston page. So we'll see you tomorrow night. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening.